Hi everyone, I'm here in my home office working today, and I thought I would talk a little bit about the cottage food law. I have had so many people come to me, want to start businesses, making some kind of food product, and they want to get started out of their home. So there's a lot of benefits to being able to work from home, like my husband Dave and I did. In 1993, we started baking pies out of our home kitchen and selling at the local farmers markets and flea market and craft shows. But we did have our Department of Ag inspection. Our kitchen was certified, it was inspected, we had the right equipment, and there's a lot to it. So in 1993, Michigan did not have the cottage food law enacted. So it wasn't until after the Great Recession of 2008 when Michigan's unemployment rate was sky high and everything had just hit the skids, right? And a lot of you other states, you know what I'm talking about, especially California, Florida, Michigan, Ohio, we got hit really hard here in Michigan. So it wasn't until 2010 that the cottage food bill passed. The government here, the state government in Michigan said, hey, why don't we allow people to get started out of their home and not have to take loans out or break the bank and invest a ton of money in a commercial kitchen to get started with a small cottage food operation. Right? So it is really great because if you own a home, you can do Airbnb. If you own a car, you can probably do Lyft or Uber, right? And so if you own a kitchen, why not make that kitchen earn its money, right? And I only recommend you getting started with your food operation out of your home kitchen if you're truly passionate about it. Dave and I were really passionate about food. I had always made the pies in our little restaurant for 10 years. You know, it was just a lot of fun for me. I totally enjoyed it. I would go down to the restaurant after hours when the place was emptied out because it was a very small kitchen, and I would get in there and make a big pot of homemade pastry cream and bake off the crusts and make the fruit pies, and so it was very enjoyable. I have loved baking since I was a little kid. Always loved it. It's my passion. So I recommend if you do have a kitchen, make it earn its keep, but only if you're really passionate about the food business. To know if you're really truly passionate, maybe you've never done anything in the food service industry. I know many of you watching here today have food service background. Maybe you've worked in restaurants, maybe you've done catering, you know, and you're watching because you are curious about what this whole cottage food law is all about. I have a link below that gives you more information on what states here in our union have cottage food bills and encourage people to get started out of their home, encourage people to, you know, generate income and pay into the tax, right? And if your state, though, is one of the states that doesn't have the cottage food bill, I wonder why not? Why don't they? So let's fix that, right? Everybody should have the opportunity to do what they need to do out of their home, get started, test the waters, see if it's something that's good for you, that you enjoy, that you like, see if it's something that customers love, get their feedback, you know, give out some free samples, get some opinions, get going. But it's really a great thing for you to allow you to get started out of your home and not break the bank. If you're serious about it and you really want to get going with this, I'm going to suggest that you follow your heart and you do it, but don't quit your day job. You know, this can start out slowly for you. Just do it on the weekends. You know, this is your part-time gig. This is kind of a hobby, and hopefully you work at it, you build up, you grow, and you decide at some point if it's a full-time, fully sustainable business that you can support yourself and your family with. My husband Dave got our little pie business started out of our home. At the time we had 5 children. Dave was working for his parents in their catering business. He was also working for his brother Steve in his restaurant. And he didn't quit his day job to go both feet in with this little pie business. And so I was just kind of doing this part-time and, trying to juggle the kids and the family. And we weren't sure what was going to happen. We had no idea. There were quite a few times where it was discouraging and we just thought, we can't do this anymore. I've got a video here that talks about a few times that it got pretty discouraging, and whether it was what people were saying and about us and what we were doing, or not really having faith in us and saying, it's all really cute and it's all fine, but I don't think you can make it on just selling a few pies, Wendy. So we had some discouragement in the beginning. We also had some days where we were rained out at the farmer's market. So we had our ups and downs. We also made a lot of mistakes, but we did do a few good things. And I'm going to continue to create more videos that talk about our ups and downs and our mistakes. And hopefully you can learn from them and you won't have to do them and make those mistakes yourself. So I hope that you continue to watch those videos, especially if you're really, really thinking about starting out small here out of your home. You don't have a lot to lose, right? I'm going to encourage you. There's a lot of people out here that just have really, really great dishes that they're really known for, that they create really well. You've surveyed your friends and your family and everybody really loves it. Get that honest feedback. Ask them what you can do to improve your product. Ask them about what they think about packaging. This is all very important. So some other advice that I have for you is get on the internet, do your research on what the cottage food law actually allows and what they don't allow. Now there's some things, some food products that are risky, like food products with a higher protein, dairy products or meat products, or even canned goods. There's some canned goods that just are not allowed to be done out of your home. Different pH levels. You worry about things like botulism or, not hitting the right temperature for the right amount of time to kill any pathogens or bacteria. And also, do you know how long it should take to cool something from, say, our homemade pastry cream that I talked about earlier? We reached 160 and we held it for how long to make sure everything was killed, and then how quickly does that need to go from 160 down to 40 degrees? Is it 2 hours, 4 hours, 14 hours? So it's all about proper food handling. It's all about timing and temperatures and making sure that you're keeping your customers safe. And so I'm going to suggest, and it's not required with the cottage food law, but if you're serious and you really want to get in the game, go take a Serv-Safe food class. So you can get your Serv-Safe food handler's license or certification from any local community college. Check there first. You're going to learn about allergens and how to segregate them properly. It's going to be a wealth of information. Even if you have been in the food business in the past, you've been restaurant caterer and you think you know it all, go get your certification if you don't have it. And it's really nice when you show up to market or you show up to that, wedding or wherever, if you're catering or doing something like this, my goodness, you don't want to get anybody sick. And it's always nice to have that little Serv-Safe food handler's certification in a little picture frame on your front table, letting people know that you know what you're doing and you know how to handle food, right? That's really reassuring to me, especially when under the cottage food law, on your label, you have to have this little disclaimer, according to the Department of Ag, that, says this product has been made in a kitchen that was not inspected by the Department of Ag. You have to have this on your label, and it kind of is like a warning, the Department of Ag just does not take any responsibility for protecting the public here if you're going to do something out of your kitchen. They have not been in your kitchen. They have not, seen your operation. They don't know if you're washing and rinsing the dishes properly and handling food products properly, and they don't know if there's animals and cats up on your counter or kids running through your kitchen, so, you're really not sure. It is when you're buying something at the craft show or at the farmer's market, like right now we've got our farmer's markets and there's people selling pumpkin bread and donuts and, different things like this, and popcorn and caramel corn, and it has been produced in a kitchen that was not inspected by the Department of Ag. And a lot of times I go ahead and I buy it. I don't worry too much, especially when you're looking at the person on the other side of the table. They look neat and clean. Their hair is tidy and neat and pulled back, not blowing around in the wind like mine is right now. Of course, I always had my hair in a ponytail or up in a bun, a hairnet, or a baseball cap, so my hair was always properly restrained, and my nails look like this. They're always short and clean, so I don't have the fake nails and nail polish, so I can always see that my nails, are clean. And one more piece of advice, hey man, hit up some trade shows. Any good company, no matter what industry you're in, goes to your industry's trade shows. Check it out, pay the money, buy a ticket, schedule, book a hotel, travel over to Chicago. Always has like the IDDBA show or the fancy food show over in New York City at the Javits, or they have it in the winter over in California usually, and that's a really great one to go to. So there's a lot of trade show. I'm going to include some links below that will help you with what trade shows that are food related. There's always a lot of packaging information going on there too, and just really cool things. You're going to keep up with what's new, what's the latest and greatest in your industry, and it'll be so informative. And they usually have other classes at these trade shows that you can go to as well. Ask a lot of questions, bring your business cards, meet people, go do your network. And so it's been very helpful to me throughout my 25 years to go to these trade shows. Show up, show your face, be there consistently year after year. So anyway, you guys, those are my few pieces of advice for you, talking about the cottage food industry, the cottage food laws. Many states permit you to do these things out of your home up into a certain dollar amount. Here in Michigan, you can earn up to 25 grand before you need to either A, get your kitchen inspected and get it turned around correctly so you've, are working out of a certified, inspected Department of Ag kitchen. So maybe it's not conducive to you to stay at home and set up a little commercial kitchen. I mean, ours was really small. But first, check before you go that far with your city or township ordinances. Will they even allow you to have a food industry set up and inspected by the Department of Ag? Are you zoned properly to be able to do that? Because if you're not, that's not the end of the world. At that point, maybe you want to rent a commercial kitchen, maybe from your church, maybe from a local, the KFC or the Lions Hall, or like I said, the church. Maybe they allow you to come in after hours at night and do your thing. So there's a lot of other options. Don't lose heart. There's so many options. You can do it. It's not impossible. If I did it, you can do it. All right, you guys, until next time, subscribe, hit the like, share it, and all that jazz. And until next time, I'll see ya.